Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Richard Guerry. I'm the Executive Director of the Institute for Responsible Online and Cell Phone Communication, also known as IROC. And what I'm here to do today is to talk to you a little bit about what we call a digital consciousness. Essentially, what I'm here to do is to give you information to help you understand how to use digital tools and technologies responsibly. You may have heard of the term sexting. You may have heard of the term cyberbullying, sextortion, sexcasting. I could go on and on. The point is, what we're trying to do is make sure that you have the information to know how to avoid any situation, how to avoid becoming the statistic of any issue. Because at the end of the day, as technology continues to evolve, so will the ways in which we can abuse it, which will lead to more trends. But how does a trend become a trend? How do we become aware of it? Well, it's quite simple. You have tens of thousands of people that do something silly with their digital device. After enough people do something silly, you have somebody who will do something tragic. Media will pick up on that. They will label that situation, i.e. as sexting. And then all of a sudden, that's all we're hearing about in the media. That's all we're focused on in Congress. That's all we're talking about in schools. But how does focusing on sexting help you avoid the next inevitable challenge? Well, it doesn't, which is why we're here today. Sexting, cyberbullying, sexcasting, sextortion, and on are nothing more than what we call effects. They are effects of your decision-making, the effects of how you use your digital tools and technologies. If we focus on effects like sexting or cyberbullying, what we're essentially doing is putting a Band-Aid over a hemorrhaging wound. Isn't it better to prevent the issue? That's what we're here to do. We are going to fix the cause of every effect. And the cause of every effect stems from this. It stems from the decisions that we make with our digital tools and technologies. If we fix this, the cause, then all of the behaviors go away. And you will never have to worry about learning the hard way how to avoid a serious issue. So what is a digital consciousness? Well, it's actually very simple. Having a digital consciousness means you understand and practice the golden rule of the 21st century. It's having the mindset that my actions in a digital world are public and permanent.
I'm 15 years old. I took a picture of myself. My boyfriend was the only person who was supposed to see it, but he wasn't. I was arrested for child pornography.
My girlfriend sent me a few pictures of herself with her clothes off. The pictures were on my cell phone. Because she was 16, I was arrested and was charged as a sex offender.
What we just witnessed is what can happen if we continue using our digital tools and technologies without information, without a digital consciousness. So let's talk about a term that you may have heard of by now, cyberbullying, or what I like to call cyber cruelty. So here are some things you probably need to know before we start spewing hate across the World Wide Web. Number one, you never know who the friends and relatives are of the person you're bullying. How do you know that their friend or relative isn't crazy? You definitely don't want them knocking on your door. Number two, what a lot of us forget about is that to our friends and our family, we may be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But to a billion other people, we just look like a jerk. What other opinion can they form of us if the only thing they know about us is the hate that we are writing on the World Wide Web? Three, when we start writing hatred on the World Wide Web, we forget about the fact that there are people out there like college recruiters, employers, and a number of other people where when we want something good to happen to us, just a quick background check is going to show that we may not be so nice. And finally, one of the biggest misperceptions out there is that we can get away with cruelty because we are anonymous. That is simply not true. What you must realize when you operate on the World Wide Web is that you are not anonymous. If you got an email that said, "I am going to kill you by 3 o'clock tomorrow," you'd probably want the person who sent that email to get caught for the same reason you would not want them to have anonymity, privacy, is the same reason you don't. And when we think about it from that perspective, maybe we don't want it.